Hello, Diane Cox here, Cosmic Love Star. Thought I'd do a little tarot and astrology update today because at the end of July there is quite an interesting meeting of astrological elements which could be quite fascinating, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, but it requires us all to be aware. I personally think to be aware of it, because I always think forewarned is forearmed. It's hard enough at the moment, I think, around the earth to just maintain your own equilibrium, your own balance, your own thoughts, your own happiness, your own peace. And it's not easy with all the uprising and the I would say constant attacks from a strange force that wants to annihilate humanity. And just quickly, this video is not going to go on like this, but when you think that the air is polluted with chemtrails, the food is polluted with GMO glyphosate, the water is polluted with fluoride, and everything that kind of comes into contact with humans is under attack by some very dark forces. The health is under attack. I remember years ago when there was a codex set up in the EU, and they wanted to ban vitamins and minerals and certain levels of vitamins and minerals that were very effective. So ban minerals but encourage smoking and drinking and fast foods. It doesn't take a rocket science or even someone with half a brain to realise humanity is under attack. And the best way to, I think, counterbalance the attack is to make your own piece of heaven on earth, which is where you live, who you associate with, what you watch, what you eat, as great as possible. So, I look all around, I'm a great conspiracy theorist, and I will give anything mind space, and then I'll go either, I don't think so, or I'll go, yeah, I can kind of see that. I could see why that would happen. So at the moment, there's the uprising of people. That's what I'm really enjoying at the moment. Seeing people rise up, because that's it in the end. That's how it will happen. And the most magical word in the universe is no, obviously. Well, not obviously, but for a lot of people who find it difficult to say no, and who will oblige those who are fond of being in power. People don't get into politics to, well, I don't know, I suppose they do. Some people do get into politics to help others, and then other people get into politics to further their own agendas. Anyway, I could go on for many videos. It's kind of why I haven't made any videos for a while, because it's like I just think it's really interesting when you've been into conspiracy theory for so long, like I have, and then you see them all come true. Not all of them, obviously, because there are some wacky ones out there. I'm still waiting to see the conspiracy theory that Princess Diana is actually still alive, as is Kennedy Jr. Yeah, we'll see. And I'm very interested with the financial systems crashing, and it's all very fascinating. I've had to kind of quarantine myself from making videos, because it's like I could go off on a bit of a rant about so many things, and the orchestrated war and the American influence on the world, and they don't seem to realise, and obviously it's not Americans, it's the American government that make decisions. I always say that, it's like not when obviously I'm in South Africa, and it wasn't all the South Africans that supported apartheid. In fact, it was a minority, but the whole country gets tarred with the same brush. And it's like America, that there's America are really, the governments have been really quite aggressive over many years, and caused lots of there's orange revolutions where they go into countries and they just take out the leaders and put in a leader that will just say yes to America a lot. And anyway, Diane, you said you weren't going to go on a rant. I've got my tarot cards here. I can see the tower's going to come up, the Ten of Swords. It's like, okay. So yes. So what I wanted to talk about first is what's happening at the end of July, which is a coming together of planets. And they are, let me just stop shuffling for a moment. There's a coming together of planets. So you've got Mars, which is now in Taurus. I wrote a little thing about this on my Telegram channel. Mars is in Taurus, I'll explain that, which is going to be coming right next to the North Node, Rahu in Vedic astrology, which is right next to Uranus, the planet of lightning bolts and change and surprises and things coming out the blue, left field, things that you never would imagine, and innovation and wonderful kind of a futuristic tech sciencey wowness. So Uranus is like a wild card. I always think you never know what's going to happen with Uranus. So and all these three elements, Mars, the North Node, and Uranus, are all in kind of in a square, which means at angles, literally, at loggerheads a bit with Mercury. So let me just briefly give you an overview of what that means. So you've got Mars in Taurus, Mars the warrior, Mars the fiery, flame-throwing, passionate, adventure-driven, go for it, Mars, kind of like sex, drugs and rock and roll. Well, maybe not the drugs, but just that action. And when Mars is in Taurus, so Mars's natural ruler is Aries, fire, let's go, spontaneous, don't think about it, go forward, trample over everyone to get where you want to. Mars has gone into Taurus, and Taurus is earth. It's like the bull in the field. So imagine the warrior riding the bull. Okay. With lightning bolts of Uranus coming and striking the field, and maybe the lightning might just hit the bull on the bum, and who knows what might happen. Taurus is nature loving, it's finesse, it's beauty, it's luxury, it's ruled by Venus. Taurus is stubborn, doesn't want to do what anyone else tells it to do. It wants to do what it wants to do. Mars in Taurus is kind of forced to, like, if you had Mars on the battlefield and there's just been a big battle and Mars is all like, yay, so I'm in my comfort zone, I've got a sword and I've got some kind of old nunchuck weird weapons, and I've got one of those big balls with spikes on, and I've got some laser weapons for modernity. Mars in Taurus is when it comes back to the encampment and it gets into the tent and it's having a massage and some wonderful handmaiden is washing him down, and it could be the other way around, it could be a warrior woman with a lovely hand man hand page and who knows what, rubbing them down, giving them food, allowing them to sleep, and obviously having some good roll around in the royal blanketage, not on the hay, because I'm sure this warrior, being in Taurus, would have a lovely kind of bed to lie on and lots of gorgeous things around it. So Mars in Taurus is more kind of the luxury side of Mars and really enjoying that kind of stuff. But it is also very stubborn, and it's earth, it's grounding down. It's a bit frustrated being back at the camp, but there are benefits with those beautiful kind of foods and great sexual opportunities to let off some steam. And so Mars in Taurus, think of the bull in a field and just enjoying itself. It likes being out there and it's looking for lovely cows to seduce and some lovely hay to eat. And then Uranus comes, and as I say, the lightning bolts strike, and it's a bit discombobulating. The North Node in the mix here, the North Node in astrology is, I've always found the North Node tries to guide people to a place of their higher good and learning, but it's often a place that people don't want to go. It's often a place that is kind of That's the last thing I want to do. I have done so many clients, and you look at the North Node, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that actually, and that's that. I want to go in the opposite direction to that, and the North Node is like, no, the universe is like, no, come on, this would be great. So you've got this destined. North Node is karma and destiny and kind of working things out from the past. So you've got Mars in Taurus and all that kind of bull energy. You've got the lightning strikes of Uranus really stirring things up, and then you've got karma and the North Node taking you where you don't want to go. Trying to drag the bull by the nose in a direction it doesn't want to go in. Okay, so that's that kind of energy. And of course, sometimes we don't want to go somewhere, and then we go and we have a really great time, and we actually find out that hey, it's okay, and what did I leave it for so long? But it's karma, we're always paying off our karmic debt. So and then take all that energy, and then what you've got is this is all of this Mars, North Node, Rahu, and Uranus is all square Mercury, which is business, communication, how you write, how you express yourself, how you write your emails, how you speak on the phone, how you process ideas, how you kind of conceptualize what's around you. And it's at loggerheads, like I say. So I would say the last week. It's the last week and the first few weeks of August. This energy is on, and it's already closing. It's already coming together. So you might, I am definitely feeling it already, and you might find the way you're taking in information, or something that may not have irked you before is really irking you now, and it has to be said, or it has to be expressed, or something surprising comes in, or something happens and you're looking at it and going, really? Come on, are you joking? Is that like And when I was writing on my Telegram channel, I was saying that this could be a really explosive energy with the Mars and Uranus next to each other, and the unexpected, that kind of stuff. And the kind of coming a bit of karma coming out to be neutralized. So things happen. It's a phrase I say to myself, which my Vedic astrology teacher used to say to me, which was great. And he used to say, Diane, it's just a bit of karma coming back to be neutralized. It's like, okay, that's great to say on one level, but on another level, it's like, So be mindful of it. That's what I would say with the whole communications and business, and it's also short-term travel. It's also being mindful of with the whole thing. So just being mindful of this whole Mercury energy and it being triggered up, because it's also kind of and seeing it already, the protests, it's rising up. It's like people going, it's like Mercury, it's mind, it's kind of being, again, it's being hit by the Mercury out the blue, and you see all these people rising up. It's like people just seeing stuff coming. I mean, and obviously Pluto is, well, I won't get into that, but Pluto's coming up and is affecting a lot of things being exposed at the moment. A lot of secrets, a lot of secret things that have been going on, a lot of things that have been hidden that, again, unexpectedly come to the surface. And you can see it. You can see it in governments. You can see, there's Shinzo Abe was assassinated last week, and you've got these people rising up in Sri Lanka. You've got the Argentinians, evidently. I saw some footage. You've got all the stuff in the Netherlands. It's protest. It's coming up. It's people have had enough. It's that warrior energy. Just, that enough. And you can see that if people rose up all over the place, the world is disarmed, and certain factions of humanity are making robotic dogs that will carry weapons and bombs and grenades, and you can't shoot a dog. but you can take them out with an EMP. Just like on, not The Matrix. Is it The Matrix? No. What film am I thinking about where those big things come and they're big machines and they have to get their electric kind of pulses and then it stops everything? It is The Matrix, yeah. So anyway, so that's some astrology, and I'm going to do a little tarot on I think the best way to cope, there's all this food stuff going on. There's been food processing plants burnt in America. I think there's 100. I saw them burning the fields in Romania. They're trying to starve humanity. They're trying to make humanity completely and utterly reliant on them, the dark forces. Because really, what are they doing to help? I think everybody now realises the recent medical interventions are causing more hassle than they're curing, or maybe not, maybe causing more hassle. Well, I saw an article the other day saying, the uprise of the medical condition that's been so popular in the last few years is far more in those that have had the medical intervention than those that haven't. I have to say that, otherwise YouTube, as you know, will ban this truth. Anyway, so I thought I'd do a card reading on circumnavigating. Now, off the top of my head, it's like, get stocked up, get your cupboard stocked up, get water, get all the things that you would need, because come oil not being flowing, gas not being flowing, the blame games going on, the saber rattling of these low energy men in power, mostly men, I will say. It's the low energy power, it's base energy, it's unrefined energy. I don't know how these people always get into the position where they're right near the nuclear button, but they somehow do, don't they? It's a big wet dream, isn't it, to have power over the whole world. They're true Dr. Evils, and there's far too many of them, isn't there? I'm sure there's women as well, but it is predominantly men. And you just go, wow, why don't you just have a big bake-off? I'm so into cooking at the moment. Watching. I do cook, but I've been watching that guy from MasterChef, Reynold Permono. Superb. A man of excellence who just wants to offer something beautiful to the world. And there are so many men out there that do. So here's a little reading on just how to stay grounded and healthy and mentally balanced during all of this strangeness, okay? And hopefully, okay, let's just tap in to anyone who sees this, who comes across this video that needs to, because I'm also tapping into just coping with this energy at the end of July. Obviously, it's a full moon just coming up tomorrow. And yes, just how to stay in equilibrium. See what comes up, okay? Oh, look at the first card that comes up. Oh dear. How to stay in equilibrium. Be ready for change. Transform. Okay, this is what this is saying. How to be ready for, hard times. Transform. Don't be reliant on what you have been reliant on. Don't think that the shops are going to be full of food. You've already seen it in the Netherlands. You've seen it in Sri Lanka. They've got no food. Stock up on simple things. Wheat, canned food, oats, rice, anything that will keep. And so transform your habits, transform your thoughts. Believe that there could be a shortage and plan for it. You'd rather have food in and just use it over the next few years, bit by bit, even if what looks like it's going to happen doesn't happen. So that's the significator card, death, transform. We all have to, it's an end of a cycle, which is a good thing, because it could be the end of some of these nutcases, psychopaths, who have nothing but death and destruction on their minds. Then it could be that. So End of a cycle, maybe that's coming. Okay, what's crossing that transformative card? What do we have? Oh, how lovely. So then we have temperance. Okay, balance, keep balanced. And for me, that is look at the sun in the background. One thing I always say about what's happening in the world at the moment is obviously all the news. I don't watch any news. I get all my news from Telegram, but there's good things happening. There's great things happening. This is an indication of that. The angel with the balance, the total balance, the flowing of energy between one polarized spot to another. The sun in the background, the water, the creativity, the emotion. You know, it's a beautiful image, isn't it? Temperance, that beautiful balance. That's a great card to get. With over the death card, that temperance, it's like, just stay balanced. Keep, as I always say, don't buy into it, don't watch it, don't be filled with fear. Look at your personal piece of paradise, your kids, your husband, your home, your car, your pets, whatever you love, your, you know, whatever you collect, or what, you know, your garden. Look at that and go, wow, this is, you know, this is my paradise, and I'm going to fight for my piece of paradise. The overarching card, well, yeah, I can totally get that. The overarching card being the Five of Pentacles. And this card is a card of lack or poverty. And poverty isn't just financial poverty. It can be spiritual poverty, emotional poverty. It can be, mental poverty. It can be any kind of thing where you feel there's a lack. You see the person in the foreground, you know, kind of covered in rags, barefoot, hurrying along. But behind them is the church window with hope that, you know, there's always something that you have that you can be grateful for, and there's always something you can turn to. But I think that as an overarching card right now is, I mean, I'm talking about, you know, survival and these ways to survive, and to, I would say it's for me, okay, what comes up is like, the card is a card of lack, feeling lack. And of course, there's a lot of lack at the moment. There's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of morality. There's a lack of truthfulness. There's a lack of openness. There's a lack of culpability and responsibility. And that's what's affecting everybody. And therefore, you can become everything that is lacking. So you act with responsibility to yourself, your family, your community. Stock up. Be there, build a strong community, be a leader if that's within you, or if you're not the kind of leader, just lead that kind of life which is on good standing, good footing. You know, be everything that you lack when you look outside, you know, in the world. Because and for me, talking about the famine and food being scarce, just, you know, instead of, you know, don't just go, oh well, that'll never happen. Get organized. Just get organized, and then if it doesn't happen, I'll be the first one to go, oh wow, thank God that didn't happen, and that's a conspiracy theory that didn't come true. So I would kind of go with that. What's the root of the question? Okay, we have the Ten of Swords, where it's where, I mean, I'm asking about all us that are watching this and what we can do. And it's quite interesting because the Ten of Swords, when I'm thinking about it and it comes up now, it's like the Ten of Swords is where you've built up, you've been responsible and hardworking and built up your goods, and you're going to take them to the market now. However, in this pursuit, it's become a burden and heavy, and there's almost kind of not a joy in it. You're not springing along, you know, with a little, you know, hop, skip and a jump. It's like, oh, I feel burdened. I feel, even though I've managed to create all this, it's still a burden. And what I would say about this is like the responsibility is on us. Okay, it's on the individual. It's on the person that is not the person. It's on us. Like you see going around the world, it's people people are taking responsibility. People are rising up. People are going, no, it's enough. So we are the ones that have to take responsibility for our lives, our health, and our food. And it's just bizarre that we're in a time when people are burning crops, and you find out that Bill Gates has just bought all this land in America for, all growing land, crops, and they'll just be mutant crops, won't they? They'll just be crops that kill people with glyphosate in them and feeding poison to people. Anyway, Diane, you said you weren't going to go on a rant. So, okay, let me just get off that subject. And yes, what card was in the past? Okay, yeah. This card is in the past, the Seven of Swords, slinking off, kind of running away, having to be stealthy. Sometimes it's about taking what isn't yours. Kind of, or sabotaging. Okay, I think we've all been sabotaged in the past few years by so many factors and forces. But that's the past, so let's not too dwell on that. The Seven of Swords. This is more important. What's in the future? Oh, yippee! We have the wonderful Ace of Swords. Look at that. So in the future, here comes the element of air, thought, imagination, great ideas, great ways of moving forward. The aces are a big yes. It's like, look, the big hand comes out with a laurel on it. It's like ideas that are coming forward, ways of thinking and coming together, mind melding. That's the way it's going to happen. And again, for me, as I say, it makes me think of community. Community doesn't have to just be your neighbours. It can just be in touch with people that can get things that we will all need. Should all this system fall down, like the markets crashing and governments crashing and the whole kind of thing slowly tumbling down. So I think this Ace of Swords is about keep your wits about you, keep your mind about you, keep active. Don't be reliant on the being dependent on governments, even though that's what a lot of them would love. Complete compliance and dependence. No individual thought, no thinking for yourself. It's not like governments are really encouraging that, by banning people thinking and thinking outside the box. So keep your wits about you, get stocked up, keep your wits about you, keep in connection with people who are like-minded. So where do we find ourselves at the moment? I'm kind of talking about, again, a big group here. Oh, look at the little salamander at the bottom, King of Wands, fire. So where do we find ourselves? Actually, this is a position of great authority and power. So if you know, you know. If you've been watching the world over the past few years, you just know that the forces that govern this country are not those that have the empowerment of the people. So again, empower yourself. Be your own authority. Be in charge. Be in charge of your piece of paradise. Be in charge of your home. Be in charge of everything around you. And it'll give everyone a sense of, let me think, not only security, but you're in control of something. Because at the moment, there's so many things that the whole government, the world governments don't want anyone to be in control of. And I mean, some people probably, not probably, some people love the fact that, they'd be chipped and they'd be, just walking into a shop with a chip in their hand. There's a whole generation that have been brought up on technology and think that is, great. And, trying to take cash out of the world and monitor every single thing you buy. And so just have enough at home. And have enough in your garden, if you've got hens, chickens, anything like that, all very good. But it's really funny because a lot of people say about getting chickens, and so you'll always have a food source of eggs. And then a while back, they were saying, oh, they're going to have to slaughter all domestic chickens because they might have, whatever chicken disease they get. I forget what it's called now. oh no, you can't have that because, and then remember when Obama made it illegal for people to collect rainwater? Oh no, it could make you poorly. Oh yeah, oh, okay. Not like, the FBI wanting to control all the opium from Afghanistan. No, that's fine, but rainwater. Ooh, hey, let's not get to, anyway. Diana said you weren't going to rant. Okay, how do other people see? Well, I don't know who the other people are, but at this point, maybe just people who don't ever want to take, responsibility. And there's a lot of people like that. And, shouldn't judge it because, everyone has their own karma they're working through. So the Knight of Pentacles, how other people see this situation. Okay, well, other people might be, the forces of good that are working to strike down these psychos. Here comes the wonderful Knight of Pentacles with gifts, with money, with investment. That's quite interesting, actually. Knight of Pentacles. But it is like people that see an opportunity and bring forth what they have. It's earth. It could be food because obviously Pentacles is earth. It could be food. It could be sources. People out there who have been growing and who have got the ability to share. When cash goes out of society, if it does, like they're trying to make it disappear. People go back to the bartering systems. I give you carrots and I give you soap or whatever, that kind of stuff. How do we go so backwards? Maybe it's a big lesson, isn't it, for humanity? It's like a market, the old medieval markets, isn't it? It's like, which on one level is quite interesting, isn't it? Hopes and fears. Well, yeah, I can understand this. The Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is, again, are these people dancing, having fun, play fighting? Are they trying to erect something? Are they trying to put like a pagoda up? But it's normally a card of struggle and a bit of chaos and what is going on. I can totally relate to that. I mean, isn't it just chaos and a lot of uncertainty and unknowing? So you must find certainty with this, the King of Wands. You've already got the Five of Pentacles and you've got the Five of Wands, struggle, uncertainty, lack. But then you've got these lovely cards which balance these all out. The Sword, the Ace of Swords, the King of Wands, Temperance and Death. All transformative. So what's the outcome? Oh, that's quite interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, totally. I get it. So the outcome here is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is turning our backs on what we know and resigning ourselves to that we must take the journey. We must go and take a new journey. Wow, that's actually really quite interesting, isn't it? The new journey of just this is something different. And you see that the cups are still standing up. So they're still there. They haven't kind of toppled over but the person is just going, okay, for now, I've just got to do this. I've just got to move away, go on a new journey, find a new path. What I've built up is still valid. It still exists. It's still there. But I need to find a new way. I need to, it's often about going, breaking, what's the word? Just kind of making a new path and just going, okay. And an adventure. It is an adventure. Look, he's got a red cloak on with his little matching red shoes, a bit like Red Riding Hood, and just going forward and taking stock and it is a new journey. All this is a new journey. Sorry, I'm probably going to go... My voice has probably gone really loud now, putting it right next to that microphone. And it is a new journey. What's coming up? I know I keep harping on about this, but, Pluto's moving ever closer to changing signs next year into Aquarius. I mean, it comes back and forward, it goes into Aquarius for a bit, starts in March and then it comes back. And then it fully goes at the end of the year, I think. But the big thing about Pluto moving signs is massive. It's a huge thing when Pluto moves signs, and it's moving from very, very grounded, serious, authoritative based Saturn. It's been in Saturn for so many years, and rules, regulations, order, the structure, again, the governments and whatever, so Pluto's moving into Aquarius now. Wacky, bonkers, ruled by Uranus. In the old days, Aquarius was ruled by Saturn, but it's a whole different kind of aspect, because Saturn in Aquarius is still wacky, wild, again, that innovative, ingenious kind of energy. It's the wild card, likes freedom, it likes to be out, it likes to express itself, and it won't be contained. Uranus really wants to break it all up. It's a rule breaker, it's a rebel, it's like do everything different. So the combination of the old ruler of Saturn and the newer ruler of Uranus is very, very interesting, this energy that's going to come. So I'll put a photograph of that reading up, and again, just love and be beautiful, spread your light, your joy, laugh a lot, all that kind of stuff at the moment, and just take the last week of July, first few weeks of August, and just run with it. Maybe count to 10. Don't be maybe that. Well, I don't know. I can't really say that. If you need to be the protagonist, then you must be the protagonist. But do it consciously, in control, and with intention. For good transformation. So thank you for listening to my little rants, and I'll be posting again soon. Okay.